For any technology, if it has to really become mass, where the adoption really crosses all the thresholds, is something that happens when it's available at scale, for not only for people to adopt as something that they can consume, but even for the developers to work on. And so one thing is, as I said, these days we hear the technology leaders, the CIOs, CTOs talk more about making their people consume more open source technologies, become really good at open source technologies so that they can contribute to the technologies, to the society, to their own development.
Redundant and boring.
Yes. So I think in that sense we are pretty fortunate for what we do at Ashnik here. We have sometimes taken up technologies which are not even in our portfolio, just because our customers asked us to work on those. And we have taken up the challenge, we have delivered, and we have delivered really good value even on those technologies. We are geared up. We have, I believe, our technology team has developed some really good skills over the years, in the last year or so. And as I look at 2025, we always try to go beyond that and try to create something for our customers that would really help them achieve their business goals.
So, good morning everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. And today we have Ravi, a new Deputy CEO with us for the podcast. And first of all, Ravi, very congratulations for your new beginnings here at Ashnik. So, just to start the conversation, I would just take your attention back to the days when you joined Ashnik, and how has your journey been so far with us?
Yeah, it's been great. Actually, it was around this time only in 2018 that I joined Ashnik. So I'm almost close to completing my 6 years here, and it's been an eventful and interesting journey, to say the least. I started out as an sales consultant. I was only focusing on one technology at that time, and then I started looking at West India as a region. And then after that, I took over the country for sales, and then now looking after the complete business for Ashnik India. So yeah, it's been pretty eventful and rewarding.
Yes, definitely, because we all are excited to have you as one of our leaders, and it's really like I personally have enjoyed a lot working with you in my tenure that I've been here at Ashnik. So looking forward to many good times again. So, what is the core essence of Ashnik? What is the core culture that we hold here at Ashnik? How would you give some lights on that?
Okay. First of all, thank you for your kind words. And I enjoy working with everybody at Ashnik, the marketing team particularly. And coming back to your question, the core values I think that would define Ashnik would be collaboration and would be punching above our weight. That's something that I'm really proud of. That Ashnik is a small firm. We still are, if you look at the headcount, we are still a pretty small company. But the kind of projects we have delivered for our customers over the years, and we continue to deliver, the nature of the business that our customers are in, the criticality of their environments. We work with most of the BFSI customers, so the criticality in terms of the money involved, in terms of the businesses that they serve, the customers they serve, the regulators involved, everything that our customers do essentially matters to the whole country, and in that sense to a very large population. And in that sense, being able to be partners with these companies and deliver projects which really make a difference to their business, making sure that their businesses are always up and running, making sure that they are delivering the best value that they can deliver to their customers, making sure that they are in a position to best leverage the technologies that they have in their environment. I think the impact that we make, it's pretty significant, and that's something to be really proud of. So collaboration, punching above weight, and then we have a very largely young team here at Ashnik.
Yes.
So from our technical team members, the guys who are leading our projects, who are leading our different practices, to you guys in marketing, to HR team, most of the folks here are pretty young. And in that sense, again, collectively delivering something that really sits at the heart of the business that our customers do. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Wonderful. So 2014, as we speak, like we are almost about to close this year. So how would you highlight this year? What, like apart from your personal milestone being the deputy CEO, what else has been the highlights in terms of the challenges that you've seen in the market, also the kind of problems and the lessons that we learned in 2014?
Yeah, so 2024 definitely has been a pretty eventful year for me personally, for a company, for us as a company, and some of the projects that we have delivered in this last 1 year, some of the newer projects that we are starting to work on, and there have been setbacks as well, and there have been a lot of newer opportunity as well. We have got almost three of the most impact making business projects that I would the way I would call it at Ashnik in this year. We have started those 3 projects here this year. So we are doing complete development of a completely new setup for a large exchange of the country. Then we are working with a customer which has a large setup of Elastic, but they were not getting the value that they should really be getting out of it in terms of the performance, in terms of the resiliency. So helping those customers on those point of view, and then again there are other projects, similar projects as well. So it's been a pretty eventful year, and I think the lessons learned would be technologically we are capable of doing a lot. We have taken up new project that, let's say, was quite some time ago didn't really exist in the portfolio of Ashnik.
Yeah.
But we have taken up those challenges and we have delivered really good results for our customers. So there have been lessons learned in productivity, in deliverables, and there have been, like I said, there are a few setbacks as well. But we are doing better than where we were last year. And some of these projects, they also run into their multi-year deals, which is to say that we can look forward to continuously deliver real good value for our customers.
So certainly, like whatever you mentioned highlights and it sets up a stronger foundation for the upcoming year. So this brings me to my next question. So how do you envision 2025, and what is that Ashnik's vision is for the next year? If you can throw some lights on that.
Yeah, sure. So one thing is that the few projects that I talked about, we are just getting started on those. We are just getting into the phase of development or stabilizing the environments for our customers, and so that gives us the groundwork on which we'll be able to build much more for our customers. Then when you look at it from the technology, from the open source point of view, you see that we are now delivering projects and we are getting into areas that were hitherto not present at Ashnik. We are getting into areas which will be very, very relevant in terms of how our customers are delivering their business, how they are delivering the values to their value to their customers, and whether it is about being able to work on databases which would become the vector databases, which would become the foundation model for some of the LLMs our customers will be basing these on, and or whether we talk about cutting edge observability, where a lot of businesses today continue to struggle or continue to try to build something that would really give them the value that they are looking for from those kind of solutions. So we are already working on some of those initiatives. We are geared up. We have, I believe, our technology team has developed some really good skills over the years, in the last year or so. And as I look at 2025, we are in a much better space compared to where we were a year ago.
Yes.
And that is technologically, that we will be able to deliver better projects, we'll be able to talk more to our customers compared to what we've been talking. So I look forward with great optimism at 2025.
Certainly, and we'll definitely be on top of that. So now, what we do here at Ashnik, open source sits at the heart of it. So we all dearly value the open source values and we live by it. But open source has been with us for 30 years now, and there comes a question ki how do you still keep it relevant in market? How do you still maintain that attractiveness ki there is still a lot more that open source can offer, especially to our customers and potential businesses who are looking for open source solutions?
I've been into the open source industry only for 6 years, so all I can say from my vantage point is that 6 years ago, when I started talking to a lot of customers on open source, we used to see a lot of resistance in terms of whether it would comply or not, whether those technology would fit into the enterprise landscape or not, for compliance reasons, for other purposes like not having the correct skill set. And I think in the 6 years now, the challenges that we see, or the talks that we hear from our customers, are no longer about on those lines. Now I hear the challenges from our customers, where our customers come and say, I really want to adopt open source, but what more can we do? But we don't have enough in-house talent. So it's a welcome change, at least customers from saying that we don't want to or we are apprehensive, to them saying that we want to, but we don't have the challenge. We don't have the right talent. So I believe that's where a lot of opportunities lie for open source technologies. And then even if you talk about the technologies of today or the technologies of tomorrow, when you talk about Gen AI, we talk about LLMs, we talk about vector databases, you would see that even though at the forefront you would see a few proprietary technologies, proprietary companies making those models available to the large public, but at the same time there are many models which are open source or either have been made open source by the companies that back them, for example Facebook and Llama. And for any technology, if it has to really become mass, where the adoption really crosses all the thresholds, is something that happens when it's available at scale, for not only for people to adopt as something that they can consume, but even for the developers to work on. And the way the whole Gen AI market, GPU market and everything is today, I don't think a lot of people can afford to make their own LLM models, and even the complexities that go into building those models. So which is to say that the adoption would really increase significantly the more these models are made open source, the more these technologies are made open source, the more the people who are behind these technologies and models come and talk about them and pass on the knowledge to the larger community. So I feel I have a very strong sense of belief that this is only the start of the whole paradigm of open source, and it only has more miles to go from where we are today.
Yeah, so this almost goes to my next question, which I wanted to ask you. So, I mean, open source has a lot to offer, right? Like the things that you mentioned, and I personally feel that there are still untapped potential of open source that business are still not are able to utilize, or they don't have resources to utilize, or it's still being overlooked by companies. So how do we address that? Because we have this responsibility of taking open source to the masses, and that's where our core philosophy lies. So I would like you to speak on that.
Sure. So one thing is, as I said, these days we hear the technology leaders, the CIOs, CTOs talk more about making their people consume more open source technologies, become really good at open source technologies so that they can contribute to the technologies, to the society, to their own development. And that's a philosophy we at Ashnik also embody. We also are always trying to push our people to contribute to the open source, trying to give back to the community whatever they develop here. So we promote the same culture here at Ashnik. And I would say that as long as there are enough people who are thinking on those lines, sooner or later those things will start getting rolled out. And as a country, I believe we still continue to be a country which consumes a lot of open source,
Yes.
but it doesn't really contribute much.
Yes.
So I'm hopeful that we'll see that change soon. And as I said, even the conversation that we hear from most of our customers, I very rarely these days come across technology senior folks in who are leading large enterprises and the leadership team at the organizational leadership IT team, I very rarely see people who are apprehensive about open source. They have either understood the power or they are grappling with the shortage of enough skilled people who can really contribute to the initiatives that they have. But as far as the understanding of open source goes, I believe we are seeing that whole initiative take a turn, and we see a lot of customers who are really willing to adopt and work and even contribute to the open source community.
So this brings me to my next question. So what are the current trends that you're seeing in the open source market and technologies specifically? And is there any strong change or still there are like more of the same?
See, when you talk about the overall IT industry, you would see that GenAI, of course, is right now the buzzword, and I think it's much more than just a buzzword. So every technology OEM or partner or services company, everybody is trying to see how best can they leverage trends related to GenAI. And then when we talk about open source specific, even in open source, you would see that a lot of advancements, a lot of innovations are being done, which fall in the realm of GenAI. Whether you talk about LLMs, as we discussed, or you talk about vector databases, they fall into the realm of GenAI. Then beyond that, but at the same time, when we talk to our customers, we still see that some of the problems that we are trying to solve for them, the problems haven't really changed. And for example, big data, the proliferation of a huge quantity of data and how to make sense of that data is a perennial problem that's been bugging IT folks for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And what has changed is the volume and the velocity of the data being generated, and the data and the frequency at which that data is being generated, and then making sense of the data real time. So real time is a paradigm that I would say in the last couple of years or more than that has become a really buzzing word. Everywhere you go, you hear about data in real time. It's no longer acceptable to do or analyze the data in a batch mode after the day is over. Whatever operations are to be done, whatever actions are to be taken based on a certain event, certain data, those need to be taken in real time. Whether these are fraud detection like anti-money laundering and similar kind of use cases, or it's a simple marketing initiative, sending a promotion event based on an event, and at the moment that event takes place, it's all about doing it in real time. So that's where I think open source technologies have again played a big role. Kafka is the biggest technology that you would hear in that domain.
Mm-hmm.
Then similar other technologies like Pino, like Fling. So all these technologies are playing into that arena. And then again, big data, something that used to be a buzzword maybe 10 years ago from today, but it continues to be because the data is still growing, and how to make sense of the data is a story that is still being played out. So I think from that point of view, some names which as fresh as a year old or not more than that, and some things continue to be there which have been there for a decade or so.
The foundation pretty much is the same, and rest technologies are ever evolving. So yes. All right. So we at Ashnik work closely with our partners, so such as Postgres, Elastic, Kafka. So how this strengthen the whole ecosystem? How does this collaboration helps businesses?
What we do is that we have not only taken these technologies to the market, we've been in the open source industry, as you know, for the last 15 years. So there's a lot of evangelizing that we have done for these technologies. There's a lot of mindshare that we have built for these technologies. So from that point of view, we can say that we have played a good role in the acceptance, awareness, and adoption of these technologies. And at the same time, we have made our customers aware of everything that is possible with these technologies, as I just talked about Kafka. And then in the similar way, Postgres as a really viable alternative to Oracle, or we talk about Elastic as a really super cool search database,
Yeah.
and as the de facto log management platform of almost every big organization today. So we have been there, we have been with these technology OEMs, we have taken these technologies to the market and helped our customers adopt these technologies at scale and with confidence. So that partnership serves both the all the parties involved in it, the customer, the OEM, as well as us. We've been able to develop some really good projects for our customers and solve some really critical business problems for them using these technologies.
Yeah.
So I think ours is a kind of a collaboration that helps all the parties involved, and it helps grow the popularity and adoption of open source technologies. And it also opens a door for more open source technologies to come and be adopted.
Yes, definitely. So now we'll take some questions that are closely related more to the kind of work we do at Ashnik. So, having said that, you are closely involved in all the projects that we are undertaking and have taken undertaken over the years. So, can you share some of the exciting case studies where you did an impactful work and you felt like, oh, this is the kind of thing that I signed up for? So, just can you share some of those case studies or stories and the kind of impact that motivated you to even take this to a next level?
Sure. I think that that's something that everybody who's creative at heart, or everybody who likes to do newer things struggles with. That if you do the same thing day in day out, there comes a point when you start wondering what am I really doing?
So redundant and boring.
Yes. So I think in that sense we are pretty fortunate for what we do at Ashnik here. We have sometimes taken up technologies which are not even in our portfolio, just because our customers asked us to work on those. And we have taken up the challenge, we have delivered, and we have delivered really good value even on those technologies. And then we have delivered projects where a technology, let's say, which has been existent in a customer's environment for a long period of time, we have helped deliver projects for our customer where the use cases that we have built for them have gone much beyond just the standard run-of-the-mill use cases, and delivered much more. One use case comes to our mind recently. We worked with the largest fintechs of the country, and it was a simple log aggregation, but their underlying asks were very different compared to all of our other customers. They wanted only a certain protocol to be used, which is unidirectional in nature, doesn't send any acknowledgement, but at the same time making sure that no logs get dropped and everything is passing to the Elastic cluster, and then making sure that it is run on Kubernetes in a fault tolerant manner and there should be no latency either, because the logs that we're talking about were huge in quantity.
Yeah.
And the R&D that we did for this customer over a period of 3-4 months, our team did, it was pretty exciting. The way we came across challenge after another challenge, and we solved them all. And now the customer has been running that environment in production without any hiccups for the past 2-3 months. So that's a testament to the kind of culture we have at Ashnik, the kind of values we espouse, and the kind of work our people do, which is always making sure that we are not just happy with the technology that we are partners with, but we make sure that we apply our brains, we apply our skills, and we go beyond that and try to create use cases that are really helpful for the customers. Because it's not about adopting a technology for a customer, it's about solving a problem. So long as we solve the problem, I think it remains exciting for us as well as the customer and all the people involved.
So is there any particular project ongoing, without revealing much obviously, so that keeps you like, okay, this is something which we haven't worked before and now that has come to us and we are doing all in our powers to make it do wonders. So something, without revealing much obviously, I know that not much can be revealed about the project, but then something that excites you, as if I speak about today.
Oh yes. There are two, in fact, not one. There are two projects that we are delivering for our customers. One is where we are going to build a complete platform for all the messages to be transferred between their hundreds of applications. And this again we are doing for large enterprise customers. This is something that we have never done before. and the project has only started 2 months ago, and we have and the scale at which we will be solving the problem for this customer is going to be pretty impactful. And at the same time, the project is so important that it's being looked at right from the right at the board level. So that is to say that almost all the important stakeholders are going to be part of this project. So that's going to be a pretty interesting one, and our team is just starting to develop those that platform for the customers. It will of course be a long project where we'll do a lot of work, but the start looks very promising. And then there is another one where we are helping a customer achieve the desired performance out of their Elastic setup. And Elastic sits at the core of their business. If their Elastic cluster doesn't perform, the business is as good as stagnant. And this customer has been struggling with the performance of this cluster for a very long time now, we are getting into this project completely as consultants who are going to look into their clusters and optimize it for them and bring it to the desired performance level. So again, from the criticality of the project's point of view, this is again going to be a very impactful project where all the important stakeholders from the business to the technology team are tuned in on this project, and the success of this project is going to be the make or break factor for this customer. So a pretty exciting one. We are putting all the best efforts that we can. All of our best people are on this project, and we will make sure that we give the desired performance level to the customer.
Yes, so really exciting times, and also this projects and everything that are going on keeps us on our toes, which
yes.
Basically what we look for day in and day out. So now that we're done with some serious bit part, let's come to a little bit fun part and let's have something light. Okay, so I'll quickly ask you some of the rapid fire round questions,
okay,
and let's see how it goes. So a tech trend you'd bet on?
Well, I think in today's area it would have to be Gen AI and a lot of
you
automation.
can't look like beyond Gen AI these days. Yes, it's very difficult.
Yes.
So describe Ashnik in 3 words.
I think, as I said, one would be agile, because we taken up work which was not our core area, and taken it successfully. Second would be collaboration. The nature of the work we do, the size of the team, we collaborate a lot. And then I think one would be an overachiever for our size and our capabilities. We definitely have punched above our weight.
What is your go-to productivity hack?
Shut out all the outside noises.
Okay. Is that easy?
Definitely not, but you have to try.
Yes. So a mantra that you follow in your professional life?
In a professional life, I would say be empathetic. At the end of the day, what we work with are humans, and so long as you understand them, I believe the results will follow.
Okay, nice. One thing that inspires you daily?
I believe it would be the work that we all need to put in to make a better society, a better nation, and be better humans.
Alright, perfect. So now that we have come to the end part, and before we wrap up, I would just like you to throw some more lights for customers or our potential customers in the future who would be listening to us, what they should understand about Ashnik, and how, if somebody thinks about Ashnik, what is the first thing that should come to their mind?
I think it would be the core nature of open source, which is collaborative, innovative, and because of the work that we have delivered for our customers, we have always gone beyond the simple words that exist in the SOW. We always try to go beyond that and try to create something for our customers that would really help them achieve their business goals. And if I would want a prospective customer to know something about us from this video, it would be our innovativeness, our collaborativeness, and those are our ethos. Yes.
Yes. And there are still businesses who still could be hesitant in adopting open source. What is your key message to them?
Well, I think as I said, I'm happy to say that percentage of customers has drastically reduced in the last 4 or 5 years. But for those who are still sitting on the fence, I would say that you are only going to gain by adopting open source. A lot of time people think in terms of compliance or other reasons that they would lose something, but I would say you are only going to gain. And particularly if you develop the mindset of open source, which is to collaborate, which is to work on newer areas and contribute back to the community, the companies are only going to gain. It could start with one technology, but it's the nature of open source and the nature of such work that it then translates into more work, more people working on projects, and it only uplifts the quality of work that a customer would be putting in.
Okay, so as of now, the whole ecosystem in India is all around startups and new businesses popping up here and there all over the country, and a lot of tech companies, especially like fintechs and such companies, have evolved in the space in the last 4 or 5 years, and it's been a boom. So now, if those companies are thinking of open source technologies and they want to try out their hands into this domain, where they should begin, any resources or any recommendation that you would like to give them?
Well, I think on that area, these guys are already doing a pretty good job. So I don't think I really need to give any advice to them, because in India, particularly when you think of startups, when you try to understand the business models and you talk to them, you realize that they are mostly built on open source technologies. So I believe these guys are already there. They're already doing a lot of work in adopting open source and at the same time trying to give back to the community. So I think they're doing a pretty good job at it, and I really wouldn't be one to hazard an opinion on that. I think they're doing a pretty good job at it.
All right, great, Ravi. So that's perhaps what we would have for this episode as of now. So
Thank you so much for having me, Abhishek.
Yes, so just let me give you a conclusion note that we at Ashnik, like I'm speaking on behalf of whole team, is looking forward to your leadership, and basically let's do wonders and let's take it to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and I'm equally excited to be on this journey.
Yeah, thanks.